Well, we got an April Fool's joke from Mother Nature. I got about a foot of snow yesterday. So my V-Strom is still in hibernation and just putting around on the little KLR here. But what I wanted to talk about today are fun alternatives to 600cc super sports. I know 600cc sports are popular, especially with younger guys, but not everybody wants a track bike, and that's basically what a 600cc sport bike is. It's basically a street legal track bike. But there are some really good alternatives for people who are either not necessarily starting out, although you could start out on these bikes, but people who don't want the kind of the unforgiving nature or the no compromise nature of a 600cc super sport. There are some great alternatives right now on the market, just chock full of choices. And I'll start out with some of the cheaper ones, and then we can move up in price. So Yamaha's got two great bikes. They got the FZ6R, which has been around forever. It's an inline 4 sport bike. The engine comes from the old, I think the old YZF 600, and it's been tuned for more torque, tuned to be not so high revving. But I demoed that bike a couple of years back with Yamaha, and it's a really fun bike. It's easy to ride, it's very reliable, cheap to operate, it looks sharp. It's a great first or second bike. And the other bike Yamaha has is really hot on the market right now, of course, is the FZ07. That's an inline twin. That's for a 700cc bike. That thing's got some balls, and the reason it's so quick actually is because it's so light. It's only like 400 pounds. I think it's got 75 horse, 50 pound-feet of torque. It's a fun little hooligan bike for really short money. And the biggest difference between that and the FZ6R is that the FZ6R is fully faired and the FZ07 is a naked bike. So you can't go wrong with either one of those two. Now Suzuki's got the SV650, which has been around forever, I think in the late 90s. And when that thing first hit the market, it was a grand slam for Suzuki. They sold a ton of them. They kind of let it die on the vine, wither away over the years, and they came out with a new one last year. And it's very similar to the original SV650, which was a great bike not only to start on, but for experienced riders. And there's actually a lot of people who race SV650s. It's got a great power plant. I love V-twins. This one's got a 650cc V-twin. It's a sweetheart of an engine. And this is also a naked bike, a light, flickable, fun little naked bike. I think it's a little over 7,000 bucks, like 7,500 bucks or something like that. And then Kawasaki, they got the Ninja 650, and I actually did a track day on that a few months back. I really liked it a lot more than I thought I would. That inline twin is pretty ballsy. It's got more character than I thought it would have. My biggest complaint about the Ninja 650 is lack of legroom. The pegs are really high up. It's kind of an awkward riding position. I think it's fully faired bike, and your torso is pretty upright, but the legs are really cramped up under you. But I know it's popular. It's a popular little scooter. Actually, the thing I think that thing's got about 75 horse as well. That goes. That thing gets up and goes. So none of these bikes are slow. I mean, riders with 10-20 years experience of riding these bikes, because they love the lightweight and how flickable they are. They're just fun. So any one of these bikes are available for like 7,000 bucks or so. then you can start moving up in price. Honda's got, I don't think they made it for 2017, but they got the CBR 650F. That's a fully fared inline 4-cylinder sport tourer. I think it makes 80 or 90 horsepower. It's a little screamer, and I think you can get saddlebags for it. It's a nice option if you're planning on doing some sport touring. You want to take some longer weekend trips, and you like that inline 4, and you like the Honda quality and the reliability that they're known for. That's a nice bike. I think it's around 8,500, 9,000 bucks. And then you start moving into the European bikes. KTM's been coming on strong. They got that Duke 690, which is just an absolute hoot. It's a hooligan machine. I demoed that last year as well. It's got a torquey little one cylinder, but the thing puts out some really good power, like 70. I think it's about 75 horsepower a single, which is crazy good. And they smooth that single out so it doesn't vibrate that bad. And then Aprilia's got the Shiver 750. I also demoed that. That's more of a gentleman's, almost like a gentleman's naked bike. It was the first bike to come out with all these fancy electronics several years ago. It's got a V-twin, which I love. I think it's makes like 90 horse, but it is a little heavy. I think it's like 450, 500 pounds, a little porky, but it is smooth, and it's a good quality machine, nice suspension. And then you start moving into the more expensive bikes. You got the BMW F800R. That starts around 10 grand, but of course BMW always makes you get all these options. Triumph makes the Street Triple, which was a 675 for many years, and everybody raved about it. Now they've bored that out to a 765 Triple, and that I've ridden the Triumph Triple before. That is a sweet engine next to the V-twin. I think that's my favorite engine configuration, is the Triple. I think it's better than the Yamaha Triple, the FZ09. But that's a serious bike. That's not. Now you're starting to get into bikes that are serious bikes. They're not for beginners. They're for experienced, really good experienced riders. The Street Triple starts around 10, and then you can get all kinds of options and get the price up to 12, 13, 14,000. And what else is out there? Honda. They brought out the new Interceptor like 2-3 years ago, the VFR 800 Interceptor, and it just hasn't taken off. And I think the biggest reason is because of the price. It was a great bike for many years, going back into the 80s. It was like the ultimate sport tourer, a very capable, high quality, reliable sport tourer machine. And they came out with a new one a couple, 3 years ago, and it just hasn't sold for them. I think they're taking it off the market, which is unfortunate, but there's just too much competition from all these other bikes out there. So there's plenty of choices. I mean, you can even go with a Ducati, the Ducati Monster. Now you're talking, I think they start around 11. The new Monster 821, that's a couple of years old now. I'm a little disappointed. It's not the old school air-cooled Monster. It's water-cooled, and it's pretty heavy. It's porky. It's like 450 pounds or something like that. I really like the old 796, and the 696 was great as well. But there's plenty of choices. If you don't think you want that 600cc Super Sport that's so uncompromising with the riding position and all that jazz, there's plenty of options for you, anywhere from 7 grand up to like 15 grand. So there you go. Happy riding, my friends.